The supported bridge pose can help you to release tension in the muscles of the chest and around the diaphragm, and help to release tension in the spine as well. Its purpose is to counter the effects of forward bending in everyday life. So often in everyday life we might be sat at our computers or head down looking at the phone, or driving, sitting quite a lot, and the front of the body can sometimes feel a little bit compressed, maybe even tight, and this is a pose to help to relieve that. And it can also bring our attention to the diaphragm to help improve our breathing. So what you'll need, if you have a yoga bolster, you can grab your yoga bolster. That can be good. If you don't have a yoga bolster, you could use, so I've got all my blankets and equipment set up, so you could use a blanket or two, maybe folded might be better than rolled, let's see, or you could even just use some yoga blocks. Okay, so let's bring ourselves onto the floor, onto your yoga mat, and I'll first of all show you how you can use the bolster. And of course this bolster, if you don't have the bolster, you can use the rolled or folded blankets instead. So I'll keep the pillows out of the way for a moment, might not need them. I might need these blocks though if I want a little bit more height. And we're going to start by first of all just bringing ourselves onto the actual support, whatever support we've got, and we're going to sit on it, and we can test it out of course. So we can just start by sitting on it, leaning back, and then I'm going to make sure that I'm not too far back on the bolster, so I want to sit a little bit more towards the far end of the bolster, so that when I actually then bring myself down onto the elbows, the actual back of my pelvis is supported, and then I can lie down here. I want to make sure that the back of the pelvis feels like it's flat on the support. Now this can be nice. I could even take my arms overhead and stop there. So again, if you find that you've kind of slipped forward a little bit, maybe the pelvis has moved a little bit further up the bolster, what's going to happen is something like this. You'll find that your lower back will kind of flatten out and the head will tip back, and this isn't what we want. So we move the tailbone towards the bottom end of the support so that the back of the pelvis really lies flat on your support. Okay, and the lower back will be supported a little bit there as well. So from here we could either take the arms overhead, or if that's not comfortable, arms down by the side. Now if that feels high enough, good, you can stay there. But if you want a little bit more height, the way to get off this, by the way, is to roll over to the side, push yourself up. So I think I could do with a little bit more height. So what I'll do is take my yoga blocks and bring 1 and 2. So you could use books or anything really that will help to give you some more height there. Maybe another folded blanket. So that's going to give me a little bit more height. And then I'm going to go back into this position again. So let me try it again and see if this feels any better. So it's always worth testing and seeing which position works for you. Now of course I've gone a little bit higher, so I'm going to just take care as I go back onto the elbows, and then once my lower back feels supported, so that definitely feels better for me now. And now the rib cage is the diaphragm is lifted a little bit more, and the rib cage is going to be able to expand a little bit, especially the lower ribs around the diaphragm. Okay, so I think for me that feels about right. So I'm going to stop there, and then I'm going to try just taking my arms wider. You want to make sure that the neck is absolutely comfortable as well. And then feet remain on the floor with the knees bent. So you can then just begin to relax into this position and begin to notice the breath. And as you stay in this position, you can stay for anything up to 5 minutes. You want to make sure that you actually do feel comfortable. So if we don't feel comfortable in the supports, on the supports, then we're not going to be able to relax really. So we want to make sure we feel absolutely comfortable. So again, if you're not comfortable, you bring yourself out and you find another position. Maybe this will be too high for you, so you've got to set. You tune into what you're feeling in the body, notice how it feels. If it feels comfortable, then we're going to stay for, like I said, anything up to 5 minutes. And when you're staying in this position, you just simply notice the breath, close the eyes, and just let the body simply relax. And notice what you feel in the body as you breathe. Notice the expansion around the ribs. So I'm not going to stay here. This is just really a tutorial how to get into and then come out of the position. So when you feel like you've had enough there, like I said, about 5 minutes is easily enough. When you feel ready, you'll just roll off to the side, roll over. You can start to push yourself up, and then you've released out of it. One thing you might find, if you have high blood pressure or glaucoma, it may not be suitable for you. So we generally don't want to take the head below the heart and hold it there if you have glaucoma, so that's pressure behind the eyes, or if we have high blood pressure. So that's the supported bridge pose, which helps to release the diaphragm.